Can everybody hear that?
I cannot.
You cannot. Okay. Way to share sound.
Kind of like a Nyloa call.
Yeah. Share computer sound. There we go.
Rules. So, goalie play is an
Oh, now.
integral part of,
There we
of
go.
lacrosse. Goalies are sort of a special breed. They have a really impressive skill set. They are the last line of defense, and their play can really make the difference between winning a close game or losing a close game. They can keep a defense that's not particularly playing well in a game that they maybe shouldn't be in, and when they're not playing well and they're not seeing the ball, it can be a bit of a disaster for a team. So this is a key skill position that requires a lot of athletic ability. They're the sort of quarterbacks of the defense, and they can initiate offense with the clearing game. So they get a bunch of special privileges that only they are allowed to do on the lacrosse field while they are in the crease. And so this is a very difficult thing to officiate. This is a rule that you should really spend some time in. If you're a football guy, look, this is the kicking game, right? It takes you a couple of years to figure out the kicking game if you are a football official. All right, so what's the crease? The crease is a 9 foot radius, 18 foot diameter circle on a lacrosse field, 2 inch line. And this is the way you need to understand this is it's not just the line on the ground, it is also a cylinder that extends up into the air. And when we are talking about making contact with the goalie in the crease or outside of the crease, we're really talking about that cylinder. So you've really got to be able to see kind of what's happening here. The offensive player may not be in the crease at any time. They may play a loose ball in the crease, but cannot make contact with the goalie or the goalie's cross while he is in the crease. They can make contact with other people's crosses, other long sticks, stuff like that, right? Um, they can make contact with the goalie's cross outside of the crease, so outside of the cylinder if the ball is loose. They can't make contact with the goalie's cross outside of the crease if he is in possession. So here we're back to possession versus loose ball, carrying, cradling, passing, shooting. Only the goalkeeper gets these special protections. So, like I said, if there's a defender that's in the crease and he's fighting for a loose ball, you can check a stick. Doesn't matter that he's in the crease. But only the goalkeeper may be in the crease acting as a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper may bat the ball, but may not grab, pick up, or catch the ball. And the goalkeeper in possession may not remain in the crease for longer than 4 seconds. Player in possession may not enter the crease, including the goalkeeper, again, while they're in possession. And we'll go through each of these a little bit later. So, properly equipped goalkeeper. You cannot play a game unless you have a properly equipped goalkeeper. And that means the goalie has a throat guard, chest protector, goalkeeper cross, cup, mouthpiece, and gloves. If you don't have any one of those things, we're not playing the game, right? It doesn't matter that little Billy's on his way and he's almost here, so we're just going to, shove a glove down Steve's pants here and, we're going to get him a bunch of sweat. No, this is not what we do. Goalies are allowed to wear football pants with or without pads. They can wear shin guards. They can wear arm pads. But again, you cannot play unless there's a properly equipped goalkeeper, and only the goalkeeper gets privileges. Right? Big exception: goalkeeper can play with his free hand. They can bat the ball away. They cannot, however, catch the ball or pick the ball up and put it in their stick. Right? So a lot of this revolves around whether or not the goalie is in possession, but it also has to do with whether or not they're in the crease. The goalie is considered in the crease when any part of his body is touching the crease. And just like we talked about with an airborne player, he's in the crease until he fully establishes himself out of the crease, right? So he's out of the crease when he's no longer making contact with the crease and makes contact with anything outside of the crease. It's essential to know this bit of information, right? And the goalie outside of the crease is treated like any other field player. They do not have any special privileges, except for the 5 seconds to return to the goal if play gets restarted, right? So looking at this, back foot of this goalie here, you got to be in a really good position to determine that he's not in the crease. I would not be that good. My assumption here is that this player is in the crease. So one of the things about the crease is a defensive player in possession of the ball may not enter the crease. So here the goalie has possession of the ball, carrying, cradling, passing, shooting, and they're going to run in and through the crease. This is an in and out violation. You simply are going to award the ball to team A laterally from the goal in the alley. So here's an example. This red defender is going to pick the ball up and he's going to slam it down in the crease to give it to his goalie. Basically, the goalie is going to be the only one who'll be able to get it. However, as he does this, he steps on the blue line, which puts him in the crease. So this is an in and out violation. Think of our airborne player rules specifically when we talk about the goalie, right? Rule 4.5, Article 10, right? The goalie jumps up and catches the ball in midair from outside of the crease and he lands in the crease. He's going from outside to in. That's in and out. That's a violation. If he's inside the crease and lands in the crease, this is a legal play. If he's in the crease and lands outside of the crease, that's a legal play. If he's outside of the crease and simultaneously lands both in the crease and out of the crease, he has not fully reestablished himself outside of the crease. So this is, again, a legal play. Only the keeper may be in the crease, so no defensive player other than a properly equipped goalkeeper may enter his own crease with the intent of blocking a shot or acting as a goalkeeper. The key here is blocking a shot, right? A defensive player can run across the crease, can go into the crease to play a loose ball. That's stuff that you do everywhere else on the field. The big difference here is acting as a goalkeeper, attempting to stop a shot in flight. They are not properly equipped. That being said, they can attempt to stop a shot if they are outside of the crease, right? We're going to stop play immediately if there is somebody in the crease acting as a goalkeeper. A shot in flight will be allowed to come to its normal conclusion before you stop play. All right, so here's an example, right? So you're going to see this black defender come flying across here, and he stops the ball with his cross. The thing we have to determine here is where is that black defender? So you'll see number 19 come flying across here. Or I guess he's 51. Is he in the crease? If he's in the crease, that first violation is a conduct foul, right? So you were going to award the ball to White if the ball is loose, or you're going to put him in for 30 seconds if White is in possession and they're attempting a shot. In this case, the ball's loose because of the shot. If we do it again, it is going to be a releasable unsportsmanlike conduct foul, right? So, you're putting him in for a minute. This is a team violation, so it doesn't matter if 51 is the guy that does this the second time. The team has already done it once, right? Positioning is key here. You got to get in close and get a good angle to see the play. So here's an example of black acting as a goalkeeper. So we got a clear here. You see our 4 count. Goalie's bringing it up. Interception, and look at 19. He is clearly acting as a goalkeeper, right? This ball should be awarded to well, we should have a flag down. Let's rewind this a little bit. Right here, we should have a flag down. He is clearly in the goal, acting as a goalkeeper, right? Let's look at this version. My apologies. Here's the defender in the crease, just coming across the crease, right? He's not acting as a goalkeeper. He can be in there. He's not attempting to block shots. He's just looking to slide. This is a totally legal play. Right. So, crease violations. No offensive player may be in the crease at any time. So let's watch this play, first off, because it is a great fake. But look how close we are to being in the crease. Now, can you be 40 yards away and make that call? No. You got to be crashing in and really see this play in order for you to make that call. All right, goalie interference. Opposing players cannot make contact with the goalie or his cross inside the crease or outside of the cylinder when the goalie in the crease is in possession of the ball. Right? It's not a time-serving penalty, even if in possession. Right? So this is the big exception to technical fouls. Interference with possession is a free clear. Interference that's loose, you simply award the ball to the defense, or if they manage to keep the ball, it's to play on, and they continue playing. Right? So again, possession, right? Possession is the key thing here. Carrying, cradling, passing, or shooting. Possession determines when the 20 and 4-second count begin. We've talked about that in our counts video. But it also determines whether interference is a restart in the defensive end or a free clear. You got to know where we are and who's got possession of the ball or if it's loose. So I've created this handy chart for you. You can download a copy of this or take a screenshot and use this to help you study. It shows.
There's been multiple references to defining possession as carrying, cradling, passing, or shooting. Carrying is not in the NFHS rulebook. So it's just cradle, passing, or shooting. You may resume.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Does anybody have any questions up to this point on any of that? Nope.
Shows you where we are, who's got possession, and what we do. Key things here. If the ball is loose outside the crease and contact is within 5 yards of a loose ball, right? This is legal, right? The only weird one is going to be if the clearing team has possession of the ball. So let's say the goalie is clearing the ball and he's not in the crease, and the riding team enters the crease, you're going to have a flag down, slow whistle, right? So this is the one exception. This is not really goalie interference, but this is entering the crease while B is clearing the ball and in possession of the ball, okay? If it's a loose ball foul, it's a play on, and if B picks it up, they continue doing what they do. Otherwise, you just award it to Team B. But this can be really helpful for you when you're studying, okay? So loose ball inside of the crease. Team A may play a loose ball outside of the crease and make contact with the goalie's cross. The question here is who initiates contact, right? So let's watch this video here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the ball's outside of the crease. Goalie picks it up. He loses it. Right? Now, this could both be a slash on the goalkeeper, okay? But let's say we're not going to call this a slash. The goalie's not getting bailed out of this by having this be interference because he is the one clearly initiating contact with what's going on here, right? So goalie's in the crease, ball's loose in the crease, and you know, goalie initiates contact. This is not goalie interference by any stretch of the imagination. Loose ball outside of the crease or even in the crease. If the goalie is clamping the ball, he has got his stick on it, he is not in possession. So if he's outside of the crease, players can check his stick as long as it's outside of the cylinder. If the goalkeeper gains possession, you just continue playing, right? but clamping is not possession. If he's in possession of the ball and the ball's outside of the crease, that's going to be interference. Okay, so again, positioning is everything. You've got to be close. You've got to see what's happening. There's a lot of sticks, a lot of bodies, and you got to know what's going on. So interference with possession. Here is the classic example of the goalie's got the ball here. He is making an outlet pass, and you know, he's gonna throw the ball to his teammate. Right? If this is a restart, right? We've got A60 playing the goalie here, but we have contact on the follow through here. That's the key thing. It doesn't matter that the ball is out of his stick and then there's contact. So you can see here, right? So the goalie has thrown the ball. The ball is out of his cross. It doesn't matter. We have follow through and then we make contact with the player's cross. So we'll see it again here. That's contact with the goalie's cross. While he is in the cylinder with possession, he's awarded a free clear, right? Now, if he doesn't make the pass and there's contact and he runs outside of the crease, the play-on's over. He's given up his free play. If his 4-second count expires because he's being pressured and he can't make a pass, nothing bad can happen to him because you have a play-on for interference with possession that will result in a free clear. If the ball gets stuck in the crease, or goalkeeper equipment while the goalie is in the crease, award to the defense. If the ball is stuck outside of the crease or stuck in somebody's equipment, you're going to go AP. Restarts in the crease, right? This is kind of what I was talking about a second ago. Defender's got to be more than 5 yards away, and the crease has a 3-yard radius. So, you know, it's really hard to be 5 yards away if the goalie's right in front of the goal and you're standing just outside of the crease, right? The keeper may follow through when attempting a legitimate pass, but you've got to give him those 5 yards. So this could be a flag down, slow whistle if somebody's even putting their stick up like this to defend against him, because you're not allowed to defend him unless you've given up that 5 yards. So, right. What are we going to do here, right? So ball's loose. We've got interference. We're going to award it to the goalkeeper. You may want to make, we don't use the loose ball signal a lot, but this is one of those situations where you want to give the loose ball signal. So you're going to point to the ground. You're going to say ball was loose, interference. We're going to award it to the defense here, right? You're making everybody know this is not a free clear situation. Now, if the ball is in possession, right, we just give the interference signal, and then you give the first down signal to say basically, hey, we're giving this a free clear, and they're going to start it one step over the midline. Right? So again, the clearing pass is not a license to foul. If they make that clearing pass, it's a play on. Allow the pass to come to completion. If the ball bounces on the ground and it looks like the clearing team's going to pick it up and continue their fast break, just let them do that. But once they lose their advantage, kill the play, give them the free clear, right? This can lead to a lot of really big, offensive, sparks here, right? So let's watch this little sequence of event here. We've got Cornell and Maryland in the NCAA Championships first round game. All right, so we've got the ISO here. All right, dumps, shot, goalie makes a save, makes a great outlet pass, and here we got numbers. Long pole takes a shot. Goalies are not necessarily used to seeing a lot of long poles shoot, and this is a big time goal, right? You go from an offensive possession for red to a goal by white because of that outlet pass. Now, if you're going to make an outlet pass, it's got to be a legal outlet pass, a legitimate attempt to pass. This is not a legitimate attempt to pass the ball. This is a multi-minute slash to the head possible ejection. Right? So what do you do when you have a penalty on the goalie? The goalie serves his penalty. You do the crime, you do the time. The in-home does not serve in a NFHS game. Okay, you will allow 1 minute for the new goalie to warm up. They may have to swap equipment if they've only got one set of goalie equipment, but you're putting a new goalie in the crease. If they need more than a minute to warm them up, they can call a timeout. If they really got to switch equipment, you can't play the game without a legally equipped goalie, so you may want to be a little lenient there. In youth leagues, you may see rules where there really is only one goalie on the team, and so double check when you're doing a youth game to see whether or not the goalie actually serves the time. But in a high school game, the goalie is going to serve their penalty. So throwing the cross, remember we've talked about this with technical fouls, throwing a cross, just sort of off the field, not necessarily at somebody, the ball, or a game personnel, is just a technical foul. Don't be too good. But throwing a cross at the ball in order to prevent it from going in the net is a different story. And so here's the MCLA semifinals from 2022.
Come together.
So we got a broken clear,
Coming the other direction. Wow.
and the goalkeeper throws his cross.
I believe that's a flag, and we'll see what the call is here. Smart play. Yeah, he gonna get the flag down here, but that one was absolutely going in the goal.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm Greg Height with GLOA and a USA Lacrosse clinician. If you find any mistakes or have suggestions, please let me know. My information's right.
All right. Steve, any comments or anybody, any questions? Or comments?
No, I was just,
Concerns?
I appreciated the reminder of using the radius of the goal as 3 yards, because a lot of times on a restart, players will set up with their toes on the line, and the goalie has to take evasive action or change his outlet because he is actively playing defense. So that's a good reminder.
Right. Let me see. I pulled up a few you make the call videos here. See if I can find them. And then I'll have when Nick posts the video, I'll have him post a link to that that presentation by Greg Height also. I know Rich said he had a little trouble hearing. And then there's also a good boys lacrosse 3 official crease play mechanics video that Gordon Corsetti narrated. That's on YouTube also, so I'll have him post that link too. All right, so here we have a video. All right, who wants to take that one? Jason Els. What do you think on this play? Is he there? No? Oh, it's somebody else. Bill Haling. Brooks, you want jump in, Andrew Brooks.
I'll take it. This is a college game, I believe, so I got a good goal.
Well, we're going high school. We're going
High school
high school
rules.
rules.
High school
tonight, yeah.
rules, no goal. Left his feet of his own volition on the dive.
All right. It also looked like he might have been in the crease when he caught the ball. Kind of hard to see, but anybody else?
Assuming
got
he
a-
was outside before, then
There you go.
Yeah.
No go. All right.
I just miss those fancy outfits we had to wear back then.
Thank God I wasn't around then. Oops. All right. Video just wants to keep playing. Jeez. All right. Here's number 2. No, that's not it. My bad. Oh my god. Like an old person with technology. Oh no, this is it. I'm an idiot. Sorry. All right, this is a little off topic, but it's another crease play. Bill Haling, how you wanted to jump in? What do you got on this?
Well, I just loose ball right away, loose ball push right away, probably flag down. Um,
Oh, you can't have a flag down with a loose ball push.
I'm sorry, push with possession, sorry.
There you go.
I was at a baseball game all day, sorry. And then I would probably I can't tell if the ball's in before he is the ball in before he does the goalie make the save. I can't see where the ball ends up.
Okay, so if the ball's in before he contacts the crease, what do you got?
I got goal.
Goal, and then you had a flag. So what are we doing with that?
Yep, waving the flag off then.
Okay. Okay, and what if he's in before the ball is or the goalie saves it?
30 seconds on whoever the defender, whatever his number is.
Yep.
And then we're starting in the alley, kind of where the official is right now.
All right.
And I also like that last video where the officials got together and talked. Because that was kind of a bang bang too, and it's sometimes nice to get that other perspective. You know, the first on the video you showed before, it was kind of cool. They came together, although he'd already signaled goal at that point. But I thought that was kind of important too to get together because you might have a different view from a different angle from your other official.
Hey, Don, can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark.
So you've got a situation where let's say the ball goes into the net because I couldn't tell either, right? But let's say the ball goes into the net. And so you've got a legit push in the back. And because you got to get, I mean, this kid is flat out sprawled in the middle of the crease. I'm not sure that I'm that good to take that goal off the board. You understand what I'm saying? I think that if the ball goes in and there's a legitimate push in the back and the kid ends up in the crease, I think you let the goal stand and you wave it off. You got to put the flag down because there's a coach that wants to know why that there's a guy in the crease. But I think you need to let the goal stand.
Yeah, I can agree with that. When it's bang bang like that and you're right on it.
You got
Yeah,
bang
I
bang,
think-
you're right there. It's, I don't think I'm that good
All right.
to take a goal off the board.
Am I the only one that's thinking that that's like a cross check? Because the kid follows through. It's like a step and a half away. He's late and it's in the back and he follows through.
I was thinking the same thing, Steve.
Okay, so Steve, if you have that, okay, let's say you call a cross check, right?
Yep.
What's that call then?
Where'd the ball go? If it went in the
Let's say it
goal,
went in the net. Let's just say it went in the net.
I got a goal and then a man down faceoff.
There you go.
Yeah, it's really the perspective of the official on the GLE, right? How did that
single-
guy get there? Or
Yeah.
saying, well, this is
Along
a
with single
three-man-
sides help too.
Yeah, well, this is also a 3-man video, but
Right.
in a 2-man game, guys, that's why it's so important as the trail that you have eyes on the guy, the shooter, the last passer, whatever. Because somehow he got there. So depending on what type of game you're calling is depending on where you're looking. I could go, Steve, I could go it either way. I could do the cross check because I mean he would deliberately try to like crush that guy.
Right.
The worst part is whoever is on GLE now has to determine, was it in the net before he touched, the crease, and I'm inclined to go with Mark. I'm going to give it to the guy, come hell or high water, right? I mean, he put it in there, and just turn around and say to the coach, it was in before the penalty.
Is that a situation that with video review we can say goal is good? We're going to take a look.
Yeah, we don't do that in youth anymore, but
I'm not brushed up on those rules. I haven't worked any of those games, but
You worked too many games in Boston, Brooksy.
I mean, you're all paid to be professionals, and your judgment is, if I'm the trail and your judgment is it's good or bad or whatever, that's what I'm going with.
But you know what? That's a good point, Randy. That cross check or no cross check, or a push is really the trail's got to have eyes on that, right? Because you're on GLE, you got a lot going on right there.
Right. And you signal goal, and it's a goal.
Right.
And that's what I'm taking to the bench.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Mark, to go along with what Mark said. Sorry, Dave. To go along with what Mark said, like in a 3-man, there's a lot going on. You have the feet as the lead there. So then you have to rely on that single side in the trail to have the body contact too, right?
Yes.
You can go ahead, Dave.
Scott and I spent some quality windshield time this weekend, and so we did some real in-depth study of the rule book. And now I don't have mine in front of me. Does somebody have a rule book handy?
yeah, I do, Dave.
Yeah, can you pull up unnecessary roughness?
Yeah.
That's another option.
Yeah, I mean,
Excessive push.
Yep.
exactly. Yeah,
Sure.
it's
If you
just,
can't sell the cross check,
yeah, exactly.
or
Mhm.
I mean, basically tackles the guy, right?
Yep. I just wanted to make that, give that option out there as well.
Yeah, that's clearly a move, regardless of what you decide it is. That's clearly a move. That's a revenge move, right? The yellow guy got inside the defender, and he's making the yellow guy pay the price.
Good discussion.
Randy would call it a brush.
I'd just say I called the goal. I didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
The sweetest moments deserve the boldest flavors.
All right.
Put a
Yeah,
call
With
got
our
it.
new concrete mixers and
Jeez Louise, these videos.
This,
All right, one
this
more.
roll moment is brought to you by Culver.
Okay, this one's a long video. Let me see if I can. I don't know where it was at. There's a whole bunch of crap going on here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. This one was more humorous than anything else.
Wow. Nice collapsible crease or net there, I should say. Looks like the one they have at Waukesha on the north end there, where it's kind of like angling. It looks about right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I mentioned a few weeks ago I had a kid run into the goalpost or into the goal because he wasn't looking at it, defender. So this is a little different, but weird stuff happens around the crease when you're not looking at the crease. And I don't know, like this would probably be one where this definitely might be missed in a 2-man game. Even in a 3-man game, it might be hard to catch that with the ball being on the other side of the crease. But I think here it's like Dave was saying, this would be an unnecessary roughness on this kind of play, right? And not just a loose ball push. Or I don't know, maybe you can even go on sportsmanlike just because it's so weird.
You played it
Even
again.
interference
Yep.
would be hard to call. It's kind of funny, but it's not allowed in the game.
He's clearly in the crease.
Yeah, I think this is definitely got to be more than a push, right? Because it's almost like a boarding situation if we had boards.
Yeah, I don't think that you can go unsportsmanlike conduct with this because it is during live play, and actually the only physical part of an unsportsmanlike conduct is throwing a punch. Again, we were pretty deep into the rule book going down to Omaha.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, yeah, those were the three that I had. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, or Steve, if you have anything, or
But I just want to add one thing. I mean, I said Scott and I had windshield time and deep in the rule book. I mean, we've got a little bit of lacrosse experience officiating between us. And there were still a couple of little things, a couple little nuanced things that we picked up that were new to us that we didn't. You read the rule book, you learn the rules, you apply them to the game. But how often do you actually go back and reread the rule book and take your experience into that rule book with you? I would really encourage that, and don't do it alone. Do it with somebody. Have some fun with it. I sat there and listened to him read rules 1 through 4, letter by letter by letter. It was a real enjoyment. But anyway, cones on the sub box, pylons on the corners. That's in the rule book.
all right, thanks, Dave. That's great stuff right there.
I guess one more
Right.
thing I wanted to bring up, is there anything that we want to do differently in a youth game around the crease? Like if the goalie has it clamped, obviously not possession, right? But can we tell the kids, like, let the goalie have it, goalie ball or whatever? Or should we just, that's kind of one of those things where you might talk them through stuff.
Yeah, coach them through it. I mean, it makes it easier for everybody, right? Because I mean, at youth this year, or started last year or this year, how it is in NFHS. If it's a loose ball in the goalie's cross over the goal line, it's considered a goal. In youth, that is not the same anymore. So just coach them through it.
I think the other thing too is I always give the goalie ample time to get out of the crease. And if I'm getting to, 3 3/4 count, I'll say something like, "Hey, goalie, get out of the crease."
I do that also, and actually for the last few years, I count my 4 count out loud for the goalie. I had a kid at USM ask me about like 5-6 years ago if I could count for him, and ever since then I've been doing it. And
That's a
I've
good
only had-
idea, actually.
I've only had
Yeah.
one goalie ever ask me not to count, to stop doing it.
I've been doing that on my 10 seconds too, not out loud, but like once I get to 5 or 6, I'll be like, guys, you need to touch, like get it in.
Yeah, but those Homestead guys can't count to 10. So
We lost our best math teachers. What can
That's
I say?
because they're wearing shoes.
We are not.
man, you got
encouraged
2 of
to
them on
count
this
to the
call.
goalies in college.
We were not encouraged to count there.
No, but you can tell them to get out of the crease. That's helpful because we're not supposed to count in college. We've been advised not to do that, according to Rogalski, because Rogalski was doing it, and then they were like, "No, don't do that."
You mean count out loud when they're in the crease?
Yeah.
Well, in
Like-
college, get your ass out of the crease. What are you doing?
No,
Like, you
no,
should know.
seriously, like, it was a mechanic. Like at the beginning of the season, 3 years ago, we
We
were
were supposed to
encouraged
say
count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Oh, I missed that meeting.
I mean, we're not
And
even
then-
supposed to chop.
and then it was don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
So it was it was a TABA, CA, DA,
Well, I never did that, so.
LMA, all those people. So because Rogalski was like,
LGB.
I want to work on this, and so we did it. And then 2 weeks later, I worked with him again. He was like, let's not do that anymore. They told us not to. So maybe it was causing confusion.
I don't
So
know.
I just tell the goalie
I
to
was
get out of the
watching
crease.
playoff games today, and they were chopping on the goalie. So
Yeah. I don't know. Call TA. Call BA. Call LMA.
All I know is Matty P tore a hamstring and had to take himself out of the game. So
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not good. That'll open up some PLL games for other people.
yeah, they even made mention to it during the game after he pulled himself out.
Do they carry another ref on those?
Apparently, they must. They must have a CBO that is there just in
Jumps
case.
in.
I would assume so because I mean those are pretty important games.
Yeah.
Wasn't Nick a CBO on some playoff games?
PLL, yeah.
No, he did it for a play. He did it during the year after COVID. He went to Notre Dame for
Yeah.
it was CBO for 2 games. Yeah.
He's too busy
Patches.
being a new
Patches.
dad, so he can't do that stuff anymore. Well, I think we're done here, Don. Everybody who
Yeah.
showed up, I thank you so much. I can't tell you how important crease play is, right? If you heard it once, you've heard it twice, at least 50 times from me. We get paid to do face-offs and crease play. The rest of the stuff is decided by the players. So those 2 things we got to get right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll get info out on when we're gonna have a pre-playoff meeting.
Hopefully before the playoffs.
Hopefully before the playoffs.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
think
for
their seed
hosting.
meeting's just starting now.
Yeah, it is. Thank God this meeting went long enough. I didn't have
At
to
least
go.
in Milwaukee.
So, all
Thanks
right.